Mario Sunshine is known for many things, such as being the only Mario game to include a water cleaning apparatus as the main weapon of choice in a world where filthy monsters run rampant in an otherwise spotless island. It's also known for infuriating countless players with their glitchy levels and garbage 100% completion reward for all of our time wasted. But one of the underrated aspects of the game would have to include the cutscenes with full-on voice acting. It's weird that Mario games had not been involved in voice acting in future Mario games. They really should, to be honest. But anyhow, most of them are interesting to say the least. And just for fun, I'll be rating all cutscenes based on how weird, ridiculous, and absurd they are, given the context of the game. With that out of the way, let's dive right in. Starting with cutscene number 1, this is the intro that plays out right at the beginning of the game that sets the entire game in motion. Mario, Peach, and Toadsworth decide to visit a foreign island for a well-deserved vacation, without Luigi for some reason, even though the events of Luigi's mansion was finished by this point. As they watch the little introductory video of Delfino Island, I noticed that this is one of the very few times Mario is shown to be in touch with his gluttonous side, and was love-smitten with the food rather than with Peach, because in most games, he almost never focuses on food. Also, I get that Peach is confused about seeing a Mario duplicate on screen, but she should have enough faith in Mario by now that he would never cause mischief like that. Also, knowing Toadsworth, who is too distracted by the island's main attractions, he will never let himself be distracted when Peach is calling for him. This is the same man who risked his life multiple times to help Peach in her time of need in the RPG games. It's a pretty short intro that showcases the beauty of the island itself, and sets the stage for what's to come. I think it did a good job at adding a bit of mystery and comic relief given the short amount of time they had. Since I rated the cutscenes based on absurdity, this one wasn't as crazy, so I rate the first cutscene a 40 out of 100. Cutscene number 2 involves the crew encountering their first predicaments. They haven't gone out of the plane yet and they already sense trouble. The entire runway has been infected with mysterious paint like goop, and that it's moving. Peach again notices the shadowy figure, and of course is ignored by everyone. For being royalty and an important figure, Peach sure does get ignored a lot in this game. You're then given instructions to investigate the runway by Toadsworth. What's funny is that Mario was supposed to have actual voice acting during this scene, but they decided to scrap it to have Mario remain non-verbal and stick with his iconic wahoos and yahoos. This cutscene is a bit short but effective. I rate it a 45 out of 100 given the entire situation. Cutscene number 3 involves Mario encountering FLUDD for the first time and registering him so that he is the main user. I find it weird that he was just planted in this spot, and that no one decided to pick it up or discard it. It was probably just dropped off by Shadow Mario when Peach spotted him, so that's probably why. I love the multiple references to different Mario games when he's scanning him. That's pretty clever. Nothing else occurs much here other than teaching the player the basics of how to use FLUDD correctly. When he jumps in the water to refill, his socks must be absolutely soaked, and that can be uncomfortable running around all sloshing around in his boots and his overalls. Nothing's absurd about this scene, so I rate it a 10 out of 100. Cutscene number 4 involves a short-lived celebration of Mario defeating the Piranha Goop and restoring the runway to its original state, only to be apprehended by the local police force. What I don't understand is that where were they beforehand? They were literally nowhere to be seen before getting the Shine Sprite, and suddenly they appear to arrest Mario? Like, did they not just see him help them? I made a video that talks about this and how the Piantas are secretly conspiring with Bowser and Bowser Jr. to endanger Mario. He is then falsely accused of mucking up their beloved island in this obviously rigged courtroom, and must clean the entire place as his punishment. What I don't understand is that the prosecutor says all of the Shine Sprites have vanished because of the graffiti, but that's not the case because some of the shines are still inside the buildings, behind a small gate, just waiting to be collected, and some Piantas even give you a Shine Sprite as a reward. So that further adds to the theory these guys are all in on it. After being jailed, FLUDD then informs Mario of how serious the predicament is. This entire cutscene is important as it provides more context to what the island is experiencing and what must be done. But still, it is ridiculous how unfair the trial was considering Shadow Mario and Mario look nothing alike, aside from the M logo, since he is not blue with red eyes. I rate this cutscene an 80 out of 100. Cutscene number 5 is a very short cutscene that has the cops inform Mario to clean the entire island and that they're watching him always. But I find it funny because they literally stay in one spot the entire game and are not watching Mario at all. I used to jump on their heads and spray water out of spite as a kid. I rate it a 20 out of 100. Cutscene number 6 reveals the island's giant statue immortalizing an important Pianta figure with the return of Shadow Mario, only for Peach to question if that's Mario. Okay, how in the world would she think that's the real Mario if Mario literally just finished cleaning that area up and is on the ground? Peach really isn't all that bright in this game. This part always made me chuckle because how dumb it is. I rate it a 50 out of 100. Cutscene number 7 has Peach kidnapped once again, and Shadow Mario freakishly pulls out a super long tongue that puts Yoshi's tongue to shame. He only ever does this one time, but it's so random and bizarre, and it's one of the most memorable scenes in the game. Mario's absolutely confused face adds to the charm of the scene. They embark to Pinna Island, the next area of the game that was just unlocked. I rate this scene a 70 out of 100. Cutscene number 8 in my opinion is the best cutscene in the game visually, because Shadow Mario reveals a giant Bowser mech hidden under the fountain, and the spectacle was so amazing to witness the first time. Seeing this mechanical behemoth in the likeness of Bowser was mind-blowing and made me question how in the world Mario was going to defeat it. The cinematography and angles all work at so many levels, not to mention the glorious water effects. The scene wasn't that absurd, but I still rate it 15 out of 100. Cutscene number 9 is the big revealing moment where Bowser Jr. shows his face for the first time and reveals he is Bowser's son and accuses Mario of stealing Peach, who is his supposed mother. At the time, this is pretty monumental moment because Jr. wasn't an established character at the time, so it must have been mind-blowing to see him. I also like how it is heavily implied that Professor Egad is responsible for creating the magic paintbrush and FLUDD because of the symbol, a direct reference to Luigi's mansion. They set sail for Corona Mountain, where he and his dad are supposedly having their own family vacation in the giant Bowser head using a hot air balloon. The entire premise is comical. I rate this scene as 70 out of 100. Cutscene number 10 shows Bowser, Jr. and Peach relaxing in a giant floating hot tub, only to be interrupted by Mario. Bowser's line here always makes me laugh when he tells Mario off for disturbing his family vacation, and immediately followed by his N64 roar sound effects. Why did they include that? It sounds so out of place but hilarious. This scene is short but leads the way to the final boss fight of the game. I rate it as 60 out of 100. Cutscene number 11 has everyone but Peach plummet into the ground, and FLUDD is heavily damaged for the impact. Despite only meeting FLUDD the same day, he seems really concerned about it more than Peach herself, but the island has been restored to its former glory as it is shining brightly. Bowser and Jr. have a heartfelt talk where he encourages him that he will try harder to defeat Mario next time. I always like this little interaction because it showcases how close he and his son are. I rate it at 30 out of 100. The last cutscene involves FLUDD being fixed somehow, and thus the real vacation begins and the credits roll. It's a really fast cutscene, but satisfying to see everyone enjoying themselves after all they've been through the entirety of the game. I rate it at 10 out of 100. That just about does it for this video. The cutscenes themselves are fun to watch when revisiting this game, and it aged quite well despite being such an old game. Nintendo really needs to do more voice acting for Mario games. With that being said, thank you for watching. Which cutscene do you like the best? And please like and subscribe for more videos like these if you want to.